to repeat. Well, Gordon Elliott and Davy Russell reminisce now with Brian.
Tiger Roll is remarkable. He comes up towards the winning line under Davy Russell to win his second Randox Health Grand National. Tiger Roll joins the greats.
Gordon Elliott, Davy Russell, we're reminiscing. What a day it was, Davy.
Yeah, it's a bit surreal, to be honest. I still look back at it and you get a shiver from it now, to be honest. Yeah.
And you, Gordon?
Yeah, I watched it for the first time, the rerun the other night. It's unbelievable. You watch it again. I got a little bit emotional after the race. It's not something I'd often do with it here in my eye. Listen, for Tiger to come back and do the second year is special. You know, there's so much talk and hype about it, and you probably really think yourself it can't happen. You go through the stats, it was, 45 years since it was done, but the way he done it was just extraordinary.
And during the race, what was your thought process? This man weaved his way through.
I couldn't have been happier the whole way. Like, you know, I'm not saying it because Davy's sitting beside me, but the passage you got through the race was something else. Only jockey should look at it. But I suppose the one nervous point I had with, I think at the fourth and fifth glance, just nodded out in his head a little bit.
In the middle, and Tiger Roll nodded on landing there. He just stuttered his way over it, but he kept his feet okay.
What were you saying to yourself? Oh my God.
I was just, my heart was in my mouth a little bit. And when Davy took him back, but Davy never moved his hands.
It doesn't resonate in my mind at all, would you believe? It just happened, and then it was.
He did with Gordon and me.
And
he did it with the whole country.
He had time, them couple of seconds to look at each other and think. But in that race, you have another big green obstacle in front of you, and then he went and done it at the next. And the only worry for me was that it might take a bit of energy out of him, but obviously it didn't. But once it happened and he came back up, it was over, and move on to the next
It was
thing.
incredible to watch. And I can only just dare to think what it was like for trainer and jockey as it began to unfold, and you felt this is going to happen.
Yeah, he was. He travelled nearly too well the whole way through the race. Like he's the further he went in the race, it looked like the easier he was travelling. And normally it can be the other way around. You know, they can travel too well early, but it was like the cross country race in Cheltenham. Like you're thinking, is he really doing this in the Grand National? Like this can't be happening. He's got 11 stone 5.
All I was wondering then was that he was after doing too much, you know, and.
Were you starting to doubt yourself?
No, I was just trying to save as much as I could, but the more I wanted to bring him back, the more he wanted to go. Nearly identical to last year. All I was thinking then maybe not to get her too soon, but all I had to do then is sit and steer and encourage him then from the back of the last to the line, and I was going to actually go at him a little bit before the elbow, and I had to slow myself down a small bit and wait till I got to the elbow then, and he just ran to the line. He's again flicking his old ear a little bit then with the crowd, but the crowd is massive in Liverpool, and it comes the whole way down to the chair nearly, so the minute you get to the elbow, you're into the stands.
That cacophony of sound, though, it must be
something
just,
else.
it's unbelievable.
Send a shiver up your spine even while you're riding a horse. Do you know what I mean? It's.
But you actually get it, do you?
Oh, you do, yeah. You don't get it in many places. Cheltenham you can hear it, and Aintree you definitely can hear it. There's not too many places you get it.
And here I am with Gordon Elliott and Davy Russell, the trainer, the jockey of the horse that now transcends racing in terms of this is the horse that's going to get more people into the sport, this Tiger Roll. He was sent off 4-1 favourite, Gordon. Like, did you realise the morning of the race, the pressure, the people, that they all wanted to back Tiger Roll?
But we knew he wasn't going to get any bigger in price because, as you said, he was a people's horse. Everyone was talking about him for 3 or 4 days in entry before. It was Tiger Roll, Tiger Roll. It was just unbelievable. It's probably the best day of my training career so far, and I've been lucky enough to train a lot of good winners, but to win a second Grand National with all the hype of a horse like Tiger Roll was something else. Listen, I was just delighted for the horse, you know. Red Run was a legend. Like, you talk about legends, like Tiger Roll might have won only 2 Grand Nationals, but he's won 4 Cheltenham Festivals, and for me that is a legend.
A magical race, a magical horse, a magical day, everything about it. Ted and Katie, I love seeing it, and what a horse he is. It just suggests to me that a skill set is still required for Aintree. Do you know, there's a bit of artistry, and he's some artist, isn't he?
Oh, he is, but he's some horse, Robert, you know what I mean? The people have really got behind him as well, and he's a great horse for our game and our sport. I got the opportunity actually to ride him before Aintree, and he's a lovely lovely, very straightforward, great character, and great enthusiasm for it. I mean, 4 Cheltenham festivals and 2 nationals. Like, I mean, really is. He's
magnificent.
He's unbelievable.
And Ted, there's so little of him, do you know?
Yeah, he's a handy horse. He's a handy horse. Is he ride a bigger horse or a small horse, Katie?
He's handy enough to get up on, and then when you're up on him, he's a lovely big long front on him.
Yeah, which is a great thing.
Which
He's
is
not
great.
short-coupled.
No, and he doesn't have a short step. He's a nice big stride. So
The only small bit of him is his height.
yeah.
He's very deep through the girth, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, like, he certainly doesn't ride small. Like, but when you go in to the stable and you take the rug off and you kind of stand back and go, God, you're some horse for your size. But when you get up on him, then that's the last time that even entered your head.
What does he do for the sport?
That's great. The name Tiger Roll. A lot of people with Tiger Woods winning the Masters. Like lots of fellas have backed him. The 2 Tigers. He does great for the Irish sport, and great people have him there. I know Punchestown are a high power team, but Gordon is so popular. People like Gordon, and people like Davy Russell as well too. I mean, the ordinary fellas like riding him. They're great for the game, and he's just it's the size of him and the fact that he cost handy enough money first day, and then he didn't make a huge price second day, and he's going to have a horse that any fella is going to get a few quid saying, I might own one of him. He won a Triumph Hurl. I mean, and usually, like, the Triumph Hurl horses, they're great. It's a great race because they produce so many good horses. He go back then and he won the National Hunt Chase, 4 miles with Lisa, won 2 cross-country races, won a Munster National. He ran around Kilbeggan during the summer in Ballinrobe. You know, like, he's a horse that fellas that have handy little horse, and here he is now. He's a phenomenal. He's just great.
But you know, it's those horses like that like your Undesu, do you know what I mean? They've made so many fellas' careers and given so many people great days out. The likes of Patrick, the likes of Ruby, the likes of Paul Townend. Like, Paul was even speaking about 1,000 Stars. Everyone rode winners on 1,000 Stars. It's the same with Undesu. It's the same as Tiger Roll. He gave Lisa O'Neill a great day, Keith Donoghue, Davy Russell, Gordon Elliott, Mags O'Toole Bottom, you know, and horses like that. I mean, to be a sound, this is what makes them special. The fact they can come back every year.
Just tell me about horses, though, Katie. I mean, when he's led through the town of Youghal and Summerhill and all that, does he realise he's a star, do you think? Do you think there's something in there that says...
Those horses are just special, and they arise to the occasion, you know. They don't sweat, they enjoy the situation. I'd say he grows about 2 foot when he grows and see the crowd. I'd say he knows the crowd are there for him. I remember, I mean, when Papillon won the National, we got the opportunity to parade him through Kill, and he was a fine big steed now, a bit different to Tiger Roll, but I mean, when he got out of the back of the box and there was, you know, a couple of thousand people standing in Kill Village, you could feel him grow, the presence as they walk. They think they're supermodels walking down the town, and definitely I think they're fully aware the crowd is there for them.
Wonderful, wonderful Tiger Roll, and long may it go on, and he can return next season and go for a record third, or a record equalling third, I should say.
Okay.
Sally-Ann.
Well, ahead of this Goffs Land Rover bumper, we have a visitor in the race, and Nick Henderson, you have Son of Camus, who's very fancied in the betting, and he looks a lovely type here in the pre-wagering.
He's a grand big horse, yeah. No, he's lovely. It's always a bit brave, us sort of travellers taking on Irish bumpers.
You're a great supporter of this festival, and it's very welcome to see you.
We got 7 over, I think, for the week, but no, I like it. I mean, you know, most of these run race, so it's all fighting for a Land Rover, but very good prize money as well. Exactly, and he's a lovely a nicely bred horse, a half brother to Geoffrey's girl by Cracador. Yeah, Cracador. He's a French sire. He's Sarah footpad actually, but that's after that you wouldn't find a lot more. No, we like him at home, but just a bit worried. I took him to the races a couple of times, and we've been so dry in England. I had to bring him back both times. I couldn't run him, so you know, it's just whether he's the experience for a race like this, but we'll see. You should have just brought him to Ireland if you wanted the rain. We've plenty of it here at Punchestown. Well, I think you've had a dry enough winter as well, actually, haven't you? But we've been very, very dry now. Okay. Well, we'll wish you the best of luck with them, and we're glad to see you here. Nice to be here. Thanks, Nicky. Thank you.
Oh, Nicky Henderson, a great supporter of Peerless Punchestown, and punters doing a rain dance here at day 1 of the festival, but the forecast better as the week progresses. The rain may be falling, but we
you have quality racing all the way through, and the son of Camus by Crackador is one of the market leaders. Great to see Gordon Elliott and Davy Russell, of course, Katie talking about Tiger Roll, and we'll be chatting further about that wonderful racehorse again on Friday evening's programme. It's the Goffs Land Rover bumper, of course. This is a sale that happens every June. You go to Goffs, buy a horse with the anticipation of winning the Land Rover bumper here at the festival, and has produced lots of good horses down through the years. And number 1 is Arctic Ambition, Owen O'Brien, taking 7 off for the Kinsale man Robert Tyner. 2, Arthur Fonzarelli. David Roach is your pilot for Henry the Brahmin, of course, the horse named after the Fonz in the American sitcom Happy Days. 3, Balcos, David Kiley riding for the Clareman, Donny Hassett. Mouse Morris has Bulldoze, Lisa O'Neill. 5, Dylan Power, Tom Hamilton riding for Eddie Harty. 6, Elusive Rebeldom, Declan Lavery riding. Number 7 for the Goffs Land Rover bumper is Festival Dex, Jamie Codd. 8, Fist on the Beacon is Derek O'Connor. Interesting booking when O'Connor and Tyner team up, they've got to be reckoned with. 9, Flanking Manoeuvre, Barry O'Neill. 10, Gold Mix, Harley Dunn for Sam Curling, shrewd trainer as well. Tony Martin is the trainer of number 11, Nathaniel's Dream, ridden by the ace lady rider Maxine O'Sullivan. Daughter of Eugene, of course, the Mallow trainer, claiming £7, good value. 12, Nelson Point, ridden by Johnny Barry. I think he's ridden 31 point-to-point winners, trained by Jimmy Mangan, of course, the brother of our own Jill, here in Pot Lady behind the scenes here on RT Racing. 13, Scholar is Finney Maguire. 14, Son of Camus, Patrick Mullins, of course, he rode Underso to win the champion chase last year. Johnny Hurley is on number 15, Vital Move, claiming the 7. That's the Johnny. Of course, that's a brother of Jill, claiming the 7 for Jimmy Mangan, the Connah man. Of course, his dad is the master of the Connah Harriers. Number 16, What's Not to Know, Roger Quinlan, claiming the £3. Mark O'Hare is on Champagne Diva. Evie's Song is Jordan Williams, number 18. And 19, Luke McGuinness for Jessica Harrington is on Papal Pearl. Tomley, you've been following the bookmakers behind you. You've also been looking at the machine. Point us in the right direction.
Yeah, you know who your friends are, Brian Gleeson. It's pouring with rain. There are 19 runners. Only 4 have got any racecourse experience. And you asked me to try and pick the bones out of that. Son of Camus, an obvious starter at the front of the market with that jockey booking. Fluctuating in and around 2 to 1, 9 to 4 on the betting exchanges, has been showing 15 to 8, 2 to 1, depending on where you shop around. But this is a race that Robert Tyner has done exceptionally well in. He's got another 3 runners this afternoon. One of those is Feast on de Becon, who, just like Son of Camus, has got a key jockey booking in the shape of that man DOC, Derek O'Connor, solid at 5 and 6 to 1. Outsiders who've been backed and have been fluctuating. Evie's Song, the Marteline filly, attracted support, back out to 16 to 1 now. Scaler this morning for Finney Maguire, who became a go-to man in bumpers a long time ago. Scaler was tempting this morning, back out to 16 and 20 to 1. And the one who's been back very late for Mark O'Hare, for an informed stable, number 17, Champagne Diva, in now to 9 to 2. Strong late support, those distinctive pink-purple colours. Number 17, the Diva, Champagne Diva.
Any money for number 12, Nelson's Point, trained by Robert Tyner, son of Mount Nelson. Interesting jockey booking in Johnny Barry.
Yes, indeed. Currently showing on the betting exchanges in excess of 33 to 1. So nothing to report there, Brian Gleeson.
See Declan Lavery getting back aboard. The Elusive Pimpernel getting for Gordon Elliott. Elusive Rebeldom, but lots of fancy pedigrees in this, lots of tall reputations. Which one will be enhanced?
Yes, the 19 runners down at the post for this, the Goffs Land Rover bumper. Terrific contest every year. Arthur Fonzarelli just looks as though tack is being looked at. A race won last year by Commander of Fleet. Gordon Elliott trained. His previous success in this was Petit Mouchoir. Jamie Codd aboard. Gordon and Jamie time up with Festival Dex on this occasion, but they're just, looks as though they're tightening up the overgirth there on Arthur Fonzarelli. Ted, looks as though a little bit of bother here for Henry de Bromhead as they tighten the girth. Shouldn't be too much hassle.
It's not the overgirth, it's the girth. You saw the horse flipped around, the saddle moved on him as well, yes, too. He done a good job to stay with him. Davy Roach. Davy Roach, yeah, he's leaping around a bit. The old saddle moved and he got down off him to fix it. I think he wants to move it back a bit. It might have moved backwards or else move forward, but he wasn't happy with it when all those antics. Lads are getting the revs up here, walking around. They're supposed to walk around, but they're all told to be handy, Katie, and they're all just doing a little bit of a jog there. There'll be plenty of pace on anyway.
Yeah, it's always the same in the Land Rover, to be honest.
When all those antics. Lads are getting the revs up here, walking around. They're supposed to walk around, but they're all told to be handy, Katie, and they're all just doing a little bit of a jog there. There'll be plenty of pace on anyway.
Yeah, it's always the same in the Land Rover, to be honest. I mean, everyone kind of wants to be handy or no, and everyone's told, you go out into that ring and there's however many of them is, there's 19 or 20 of them, everyone's told, handy away our first 4 or 5. Now, that's not physically possible. So this is the problem. Everyone's down there, they're trying to write to instructions and do what they're told, and very few have been told to hunt around out the back and ride a horse to run well. It's the Land Rover. This has been the plan for a lot of horses, but hopefully it'll get off to a smooth start anyway. Davy Roach actually is riding one for Henry de Bromhead, but Davy Roach is hugely involved with Henry's. He's a kind of slash head man there as well, and he's been riding for a good few years. Davy?
They're all lining up. Paddy Graffin. Richard Pugh, you got them all in your sights here long before they pull the lever.
We do. They're just walking forward here. Arthur Fonzarelli just joining in behind. We often see that with a horse on their first run. The saddle is maybe a little bit smaller than the one they're used to riding out in at home, and they can feel the rider, they can feel the tack a little bit more than they're used to, and they just tighten up a little bit. But I wouldn't be too worried if you had your fiver on Arthur Fonzarelli. I'd be more worried about what Katie is alluding to, with all of them trying to find position here in the early part of this race. That's it. They are racing for the 2019 Goffs Land Rover Bumper, and as they head away up the straight, it is flanking manoeuvre in the second Jigginstown Silks who's going to lead them up to past the stands. They won it last year with Commander of Fleet, but What's Not to Know comes through on the near side, and over on the far side, Gold Mix for Sam Curling and Harley Dunn in the sheepskin. Vital Move, the other sheepskin on the near side for the Jimmy Mangan team, is next. Scaler, the yellow cap, and Finney Maguire is in there too. So What's Not to Know leads from Bulldoze and Lisa O'Neill in second. Gold Mix has got a good position in third on the inside of flanking manoeuvre, and Scaler towards the inside is Feast Under Beacon and Derek O'Connor. Silks that won it with Coeur d'Alene a couple of years ago for Robert Tyner, who's won 2 of the last 3 runnings. Papal Pearl in the spots is just outside this one with Arctic Ambition, and they're being followed on the widest out by Evie's Song, one of 3 in this contest, fought by Bobby O'Ryan. Dylan Power is just inside this one. Son of Comus is the red jacket with the hoop, Patrick Mullins aboard. Papal Pearl's lost a number of positions there, just being shuffled back. On this one's outside is the red and white halved of Elusive Rebeldom. Down the inside, Nathaniel's Dream and Maxine O'Sullivan. Nelson's Point is next in the yellow, John Barry. They're being followed by Arthur Fonzarelli and David Roach. Towards the inside, Champagne Diva, Mark O'Hare. He won this back in 2006 in Artia. And last of all is Festival X and Jamie Codd, who won it for Gordon Elliott in 2015. That was Petty Mouchoir, went on to win a champion hurdle. So they race now on their way from the stands, and it's What Not to Know from Bulldoze in second. Flanking manoeuvre is third, and they're being followed back and forth by Evie's Song, who's out wide in the pink jacket, Vital Move in the white cap, and then Scaler. Down the inside, the light blue jacket of Gold Mix being followed by Fiston de Bricon, who's next, and then towards the outside is Arctic Ambition. Son of Camus, Patrick Mullins just keeping him up to his job there for a few strides. He's jumped back onto the bridle. Papal Pearl has now held position on the outside of Nathaniel's Dream. Elusive Rebeldom is next, and then being followed by Dylan Power. Then comes Nelson's Point picking up position. The pink jacket towards it with 3 behind is Champagne Diva, and they're being followed by Balcos towards the back with Festival Dex and Arthur Fonzarelli. So it's What Not to Know. Evie's Song's going up on the outside. They're being followed by Vital Move, flanking manoeuvre towards the inside, Bulldoze. They're being followed by Scaler. Gold Mix has just lost a position. Arctic Ambition is next. Feast on the Beacon has lost a position, but still holds a good spot in about 7th or 8th, with Nathaniel's Dream improving up on his inside. Towards the outside, Son of Camus is picking up a position with Elusive Rebeldom doing the same. Then the white and red spots towards the inside of Papal Pearl. They're being followed by Nelson's Point in the yellow as they make their way on now towards the 7 furlong pole, and in front it is still taking them along. What's Not to Know for Roger Quinlan and Mouse Morris, being chased in second spot by flanking manoeuvre, and Barry O'Neill, who's won 2 of the last 3 runnings, is on board for Colombo here. Vital Move for the Mangan team is on the outside. Then towards the inside is Bulldoze and Lisa O'Neill for Mouse Morris. So Mouse Morris 1-2 now. What's Not to Know and Bulldoze with Vital Move the outside flanking manoeuvre. Scaler is ridden. Feast on the Beacon goes well with Elusive Rebeldom next. Son of Camus dropping quickly out, won't be his day. And Evie's Song, another market principal, is dropping quickly out. They head on towards the half-mile pole, and it's What Not to Know who leads. From in second is Vital Move. They're being followed by Scaler. Flanking manoeuvres ridden along. On the inside, Bulldoze towards the outside of Elusive Rebeldom. Feast on the Beacon is asked for effort behind Papal Pearl with Nelson's Point next, and then Nathaniel's Dream. But this What's Not to Know, he's had 2 runs under his belt, 4th each time. but he has most of these out of their comfort zone as they turn towards home. Vital Move runs a big race in second, then they're being chased by Papal Pearl and Scaler. Then comes Nelson's Point, and Festival Dex from absolutely nowhere is staying on strongly. They begin to make their way now towards the turn in, and it's What's Not to Know has got the clear advantage from Festival Dex. Two very different set of riding tactics. It's What's Not to Know and Roger Quinlan, who went out with conviction. He sees Jamie Codd coming at him. He's now got to get down and get low, and Festival Dex is swept through on the near side from in second spot. What's Not to Know, and they're well clear from Papal Pearl, and Festival Dex is beginning to stretch up towards the line from What's Not to Know, who's trying to close him back in second, but Festival Dex is beginning to lengthen and beginning to go clear as they go towards the line, and the Goffs Land Rover bumper is going to go the way of Jamie Codd and Gordon Elliott again. This time, ears prick. Festival Dex is your Land Rover bumper winner. Back in second is What's Not to Know. Papal Pearl is next from Flanking Manoeuvre, Nelson's Point, Vital Move, Nathaniel's Dream, Elusive Rebeldom, and Arthur Fonzarelli and Scaler in front of Evie's Song. Then came Balcus, and Feast on the Beacon dropped out with Bulldoze, and they were followed in by Champagne Diva, who never got into it. And then came Another Ambition, and towards the back was Gold Mix. Right back to Son of Camus was near the last one to go by. Dylan Power had that honour, but this one went to number 7. I did say Bobby O'Ryan bought 3 of them. He bought this one, number 7, Festival Dex. Trained by Gordon Elliott, ridden by Jamie Codd, owned by John Doyle, cost 30,000 if you wanted him.
Oh, Richard, it was a fascinating race, wasn't it? Festival Dex, where was he? But then he came, and boy, did he come. It looked all What's Not to Know, but he gets collared once in the straight. And this winner, Katie, with Jamie Codd, he runs right to the line, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, but like Jamie knew what he was doing. Down to start, Jamie walked out on the inside. He had his mind made up that the lads were going to go gallop. He knew the rain was after falling, it was getting into it, and he rode him to take his time, and that's Jamie Codd at his best. You know, he was in no panic. Roger Quinlan, this horse made the running a couple of times with the hood, and he let this horse bowl along. Now he ran well because he kept going, but half it down the back, the writing was on the wall. There was nothing really moving up into a position at all. Patrick was struggling. Davy Roach, who dropped in, was struggling. I kind of knew by Lisa's body language that she wasn't moving into it, but Jamie turns for home anyway. Roger had a look behind him, knew he wasn't hanging on to a whole lot, and Jamie picked him up and away with him. But as soon as he passed Roger, typical young horse, green, pricked his ears. He'd loads left in the tank. Jamie gave him an absolute peach, as he does on many of an occasion. This horse was sold by Brown Island Stables, which is Johnny Collins, who's having huge success as well at the breeze-ups as well, and a big consigner of national hunt horses. Well done, Gordon, Johnny, Jamie, everyone involved. Sally Ann.
Yeah, down here with Jamie Codd, who's just pulling up. And Jamie, we won't give you any hugs after that race. You're looking a little bit dirty, but he was very impressive in that for a horse with no experience.
Yeah, Sally-Ann is fantastic. Privileged to be riding for a great trainer, and to be winning these races. This is what it's all about for an amateur, and very lucky. To be honest, this is a lovely horse. I'd say whatever he done today, he's going to improve massively. I was last most of the way and really hunting away there, trying to get him to seem to go a good gallop, but once he started passing him, leaving the back straight, he just kept going and going and going. So look at this one.
Mark of you as a jockey as well, Jamie, that you didn't give up on him when he was out the back, but waited for the penny to drop. And this race has been very lucky for you. Won it in the past with Petit Mouchoir, and could this be another horse to look forward to in the future?
Yeah, of course, why not? It's great for the owners, John Doyle and a few lads there. So did a nice bumper horse last year and get away John, and this lad looks another nice horse to look forward to as well. So look at it, it's great. That's what you want. You want those smaller owners in the game, and delighted for John.
Just a word about the conditions, Jamie, because it was quite tough for the younger horses out there. The ground is starting to soften up.
Yeah, it is gone soft. I'd say it'll probably be softer tomorrow once it gets into the ground tonight, and that seeps into it. It probably will be a bit softer, but look, it suited me well today, and I'm delighted.
No complaints here. Well done, Jamie, and well done to Katie, who looks after him too.
Well done to all concerned. And there wasn't a whole lot of pedigree to go on when he was bought. He's the son of Sadler Maker, and that was important. He's the sire, of course, of Apple's Jade and Bristol de May and a good few others, but a light enough page, and this fella has won in great style.
Sure,
He made nothing really. 30 grand, like as a 3-year-old at the sales, is no money for anybody who bred him and kept him 3 years and brought him to a sale and got 30 grand from him. There's no profit in that. I mean,
Ted, what are you looking at a sale now?
You're looking at a good-looking horse, which he probably was. He was by a saddle maker, which they liked. You said the pedigree was weak. But I mean, 30 grand, if you're in the business of buying horses and keeping them or breeding them, and you keep them 3 years in a nice cold or a gelding and bring them to a sale and get 30 grand from him, it's not much of a price for him. I'm glad for the people who bought him. He was well bought by Bobby O'Ryan, and I'm sure he turned over a few quid for Johnny Collins as well. But he's done it well. Another French bred. Johnny probably bought him in France. That's 4. You've the finest festival here in Ireland is Punchestown, and the first 4 winners we had are all French bred. It says something.
Here's Tracy.
And John Doyle, his owner, joins me now, and that must have been exciting watching that. He came out of nowhere. Well done.
Came out from the back, and I wasn't expecting it, so it was absolutely brilliant.
He looks very good.
He's a good horse. He's a nice horse. We always liked him, so we'll take it from there.
And Bobby O'Ryan picked him out?
Bobby O'Ryan bought him for me.
Great judge.
Oh, he's a magnificent judge. He's bought a few from me, and we've been trying all the way along. Bit of luck comes somewhere down the line.
Great man on board as well, Jamie there. He's coming in now. He rode superb.
Yes, he's rode a couple for us. He's absolutely brilliant. So, yes.
Something to really look forward to, John.
Yeah, we've something to go forward with and hope for the best.
Very good. Go and see him in. Right. Thank you.
There's a winner returning, and you can see just from Jamie's colours that the mud's flying. Damp old conditions, not what Punchestown is all about, but nice for the animals as well. What's not to know? Honourable second, and Papal Pearl it was who came through to take 3rd place. But Gordon Elliott, what an establishment he runs, and you know, you just love to be a breeder and know that your horse was going there or to Willie's or whatever. They are very, very talented men.
There's a great relationship there though with Jamie and Gordon, you know, because like I've no doubt that Jamie's probably sat in this horse at home, but I'd say he went out into the ring. Sure, Gordon didn't even say anything to Jamie. He said, sure, away with you, the best of luck. And I mean, they're lovely instructions, and I can probably nearly 99% guarantee you that's what happened. There's no one being tied down to anything. He knows the horse better than anyone. Ride him as you find them. They're after having huge success for the last couple of years with friends. They would have probably ridden together as well.
Together. Yeah, Gordon would be a couple of years older than Jamie. Gordon was a fine point rider himself, and I mean that. He got a bit heavy and went to pipes, but he was a very good rider. Done it well. And I must say, Roger Quinlan, there's Bobby O'Ryan when he's back to us there now. Bobby buys plenty of horses, whether they're 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, or store horses, and has a great record with him as well too. And Mouse, his son, is a very great pal of Gordon's as well too. And Tracy's down with Gordon. But I must say, Roger Quinlan gave the second a great ride as well too. He's a free-all horse with a hood on him, and he judged him well. If Jamie didn't appear in the scene, it probably would have been the ride of the week. Tracy, you're in the ring.
I certainly am here with Gordon. Sorry, Gordon, you're missing out on the photographs, but very good. He did that well. An exciting horse.
Yeah, no, he's a nice horse. Very babyish, to be honest. I said to John before the race, he finished the first half dozen, I'd be delighted. But Jamie gave him a grand ride.
Didn't he? He was super.
He just creeped away. I told him to creep away and ride him for every bit of prize money you get. But great for John. He's a big supporter of the yard. John obviously is into all the marts, and he's more known for the cattle and all that sort of stuff. But he invests a lot of money into him. Bobby O'Ryan advising what to buy and what not to buy. So listen, it's men like this. This is his local track, and it's men like this you want to see winning. It's great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this horse is going to learn a hell of a lot from today.
He's very, very babyish. He hooked the home straight was just pricked the whole way, so he's a horse for the future.
Yeah. Just a word on Delta Work in the next.
He's in good form. Listen, I thought he's my best chance of the day, so whatever happens now is a bonus.
Okay, good luck. Thank you. Well done. Well done.
Oh yes, says the owner John Doyle, delighted, just said this is a nice horse, Festival Dex, and he returned at a nice price. The Goffs Land Rover bumper has gone to number 7 on your race card. The Codfather, Jamie Codd, striding out to win by 10 lengths on Festival Dex, 9-1 the odds of reward. Second, number 16, What's Not to Know, that's 66-1. Roger Quinlan was looking in the rearview mirror. He did not like what he saw. Jamie Codd bearing down on him. Second today, What's Not to Know. Third, number 19, Papal Pearl, in the hands of Luke McGuinness, returned at 14-1. It's time for us to take a quick time out here on RTE Racing. When we return, more Grade 1 action upcoming just after this short break.